welcome back to the second half of Mostly Laughter, Some Slaughter, the Eschaton.
Invasion of the creatures from beyond the darkness.
Oh yes.
I always seem to end up being the one.
And they look like Lovecraft.
And they look like Lovecraft. Ah! I always end up being the one who lets them in somehow. I don't know why.
Always your fault, Joe.
No, it's
Always
not,
my
man.
fault.
Well, it's just part of the fun. Besides, if nothing else, you get dibs when our evil overlords finally take over the universe.
Yay!
Yes.
Hey,
Be a viceroy, maybe.
So get a great silly hat. It'll be awesome.
Oh yes.
and tentacles. Ah.
So, so Lovecraft. A bunch of the calamari are all, figuratively, up in arms about the.
Sorry. I should
If I
mute
may,
myself
if I
when
may.
Brad is talking.
I think that the calamari are just about reaching the boiling point.
Oh.
They're perhaps feeling a little
No.
salty,
No.
Oh.
No.
getting ready to pepper you with questions.
No. That's not as good as Up in Arms. I'm sorry. I love you, Joe, but Up in Arms is a hard one to beat.
I agree.
It's time to raise an ink.
What? No.
So anyway, they seem to be they're upset about the treatment of the poor sentient dogs, and yeah, that they are being oppressed, or just subject to the the cruel I guess sort of requirements of capitalism, whatever you want to call it, and there's been there's been this new influence in the organization, whereas rather than like deciding to get to rather than getting together and voting on what to do as a group in an ad hoc fashion, there's been this push for no, we should each just do what we want, and
Well, democracy is very paramount for any institution in order to present the will of the majority. May I humbly suggest a way of moderating this with two effects for one stone? Their problem of these poor mistreated dogs is one of culture. They're stuck in a culture which has the things here. But I do not want to go up in arms because of this. So my answer is simple. We start a recruiting program to put on their neighbor planet to assist in the guidance of these dinosaur creatures. Yes, we're doing a promotion rally. Considering we have Konyakabaka machines, and we're going to basically ruin two plots with one stone. So we're sending guide dogs to help. We're having dogs that have been mistreated by the culture. We're going to train them, and we're going to put them down as essentially, what's the term? Peace Corps. Down on the new planet, in order to ensure these dinosaurs understand the fundamentals of democracy.
okay.
After all,
So
we
okay, so you're gonna try and recruit a bunch of dogs off of Andoria to go to Tathreen and work with the compies.
Yes,
Is that accurate? Okay.
Exactly. We're going to basically, in return, we're going to have them have control of the Konyakabaka machines and provide, the food and things, supplies they desperately need, as well as the proper leads.
Okay.
Now, what would that be?
Okay. Well, okay. So, how are you going about the recruitment process? Are you just like are you just like going out and talking to individuals and convincing them that this is a good opportunity? Are you saying no? You must come do this or else? I know it's not going to be that. Or are you trying to inject something into the political structure of Andoria to make this work better?
Well, my ultimate goal is it's twofold. I'm going to use a system not unlike some other revolutionary organizations. We're going to start with the fact that we have one big distinct advantage over a lot of our people. We have Konyakovad machines, and therefore can basically generate technically unlimited food and supplies.
Oh, sure.
And as a result, we're going to do the equivalent of soup kitchens at arm's length while keeping our Konyakovad machines relatively, discreet. And we're basically going to be recruiting essentially the downtrodden, giving out pamphlets, and convincing them to be part of the cause because we care for them unlike their own organization and structure.
Okay.
After all, they have nothing to lose but their chains. Yeah, I don't know how to run an excursion. Not at all.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
I guess that would be ultimately based on the skills here. I guess that would be assert political pressure in this situation here, unless you can think of something better, or infiltrate. Actually, would be better.
Interesting.
well, okay. Yeah, I mean, it could totally be infiltrate.
Unless you have
you're
anything
just, I mean, okay. So,
well, unless I can use two moves.
okay. So with infiltrate, you could get information, get access, sabotage an asset. Actually, you could, you could use the exfiltration option on it, and that would work.
Okay.
So yeah, totally infiltrate could work, and let's do that just because I want to see it in action.
Absolutely.
I am getting a partial success, and on a 1. Jeez,
Oh, okay.
Louise.
Actually, if you could re-roll that, because this is we're gonna use
2d10.
New infiltrate, which is 2d10 plus
I'm
plus your influence.
I just pressed the button. My bad.
Oh, no worries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the button's right there. It's under infiltrate. Okay, it's meant to be. Yeah, but a 7. Although 7 on a it actually comes out to an 8, which is the same category because you do get +1 for your
+1.
yeah.
Okay.
For your influence. Okay. So
Table B.
Wait, looks like that's...
No, that doesn't make sense. I'm sorry to say, because unless you say choose one from table A and one from table B, which makes sense. That way you get a disadvantage, you get an advantage that basically fits within the flow through.
I think that was the intent.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I was aiming for with that. Let's.
I think.
Hold on,
I think definitely one from table. Table A is the good one, and table B is the bad one. Correct?
Mm-hmm. No. On this one.
Table A is the good one.
Yeah, table A is bad.
Okay.
And then and table B is pretty good.
I also noticed there's a table C, and we don't have a table C, but that's okay. I don't think we're going to be rolling a 20 plus at any point. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Okay,
It's roll 20.
I think
Weird
what
stuff
that was
happens.
supposed to be was choose one from table A, or two from table A and one from table B.
Ah.
That is how that is generally structured. So I'm going to assume that it is that. So, do you want to just have this not go so well, or do you want to get the thing you want, get people to, uh, recruit some people, but have a number of bad things happen?
Well, I'm thinking it should happen with penalties because that way it'll at least move the story forward. So there are now 30 dogs on the planet Tathrine. Basically 30 dogs listed there. However, some of them owed serious debt to Andoria in the process. So there's a lot of rumblings about these guys escaping their debts and duties instead of being instead of the opposite of Australia in a lot of ways. So
Okay.
now there's, well, for lack of a better term, the equivalent of the Starship Enterprise coming towards Thakreen in order to expedite these people who are now outside their normal jurisdiction. Because all roads are leading to Tathrine today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
And not only
wait.
that, that's as word gets out with the organization about the infiltration.
Okay.
So there's been a little bit of loss of political thing. If you want to advance the clock, you can, but I kind of want to fail forward in order to get, at least something there. And I could argue that some of these guys are probably, because they are probably from less than affluent backgrounds, they're probably not the most appropriate beings to try to have for your best impression for democracy. Which means we might have Heart Pack of Darkness happening at the planet at some point.
Okay. And what's the so oh wait. Okay. So you're choosing the word gets out within your organization about the infiltration.
Basically, I think they were-
okay. I think what so
Sorry, my mistake.
okay, so I'm assuming you're not taking. Okay, so there's three options from table A. You have to choose two of them. I'm assuming you're not taking that third one, which is your organization refuses to attempt the infiltration.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so the people that you send to do this are caught.
Yes.
Oh.
Because they're
And
considered to be revolutionaries within the society. And so you're saying,
okay, and word gets out that they do get caught, because how would it not?
yeah, pretty much. Hey, look, some weird seafood showed up and started handing out pamphlets.
Okay,
The
and
dog.
yeah, and yeah.
And also, they're ridding our beloved capitalism and ridding our bottom line.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where there is, there in the UPF's written laws, there's absolutely nothing illegal about what you're doing. I mean,
No.
you're allowed to give stuff away. It's just that generally nobody does. But the government sees it as a threat. So they say that you're they say that you're spies, that you're attempting to undermine the government.
And a bit of racism for good measure, because invertebrates.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we're ridding the economy.
Yeah. If they knew that you were like, if they could prove that you had were like giving away stuff from a cornucopia machine, they'd be very upset.
Yes.
They don't have that proof yet.
So far, it's alleged.
But the fact that it goes so badly does impact your morale. I think I think it just nails 1 morale. So your current morale goes down to 2. Um, and under org stats, there's morale and then current. Just mark current at 2.
Okay. Will do. Is there anything else I can do to influence my fellow associates, or am I more or less done?
That yeah, that's pretty much it. Except that I get to do something horrible. I think horrible enough things have happened because it's not just that loss of morale, but they've got some of your people.
Yes.
Um, but I haven't done anything horrible to Kalvinder yet.
Hey, I'm just quietly waiting.
Yes, yes.
I was like, no one has seen me yet. I am invisible.
That's why I want to go last.
So, okay. So you know about this project to uplift the compies.
Mhm.
What what do you want? What do you want out of it? What do you want to occur? And does the rest of your committee know about it?
Let's say no to make things interesting.
Hang on.
Okay.
I think from holistic coordination, like we're not becoming. To me, that is like this, like kind of one of those like we are the health administration. We're in charge of killing everybody. We're the Department of Love. 1984 kind of double speak.
Committee of Public Safety, perchance.
Yes. So I think definitely the whole thing with the little dinosaurs is to make sure they don't come out as an other unknown factor that might be controlled later on. Like early control is better than control not at all. So to this extent, it's not so much the compies we're aiming for because that could get spiral out of control with lots of competing factors. So from an organization's point of view, the best thing to do at this point is to get control of the groups involved.
Oh, okay.
Now, here comes a question, okay? Is it fairly clear from what I and the committee, because I'm going to say most of the committee is probably more or less on board for this as long as it doesn't become too violent.
Okay, so whatever you're going to say next,
yes.
I can almost guarantee you that there are some people on the committee who are with you.
Yes.
Whatever it is that you want to do, there are at least 2 other groups on the committee that have differing agendas.
Yes. So definitely
because of course they do.
So because I want to really work into using one of my playbook rules. So I think with that being said, contacting the other committee members who are in line with me is kind of where I want to go, but I'm not sure how that works with Power Broker and if it kind of gets seen. Because what I would like to do is I would like to push War Weaver closer to being an autocracy. Because it's much easier to control one person than an entire group.
Okay.
That's kind of where I want to go at.
Sure.
That's kind of where I want to go. So from a move perspective, which way do I go to this idea? That the question I was going to ask is if we know that both the Calamaris are kind of going towards more anarchism and the Warweavers are kind of starting to like choose perhaps a leader or a hero to lead them, kind of thing, right? Because that's kind of what I'm thinking their autocracy will fall into. That a great leader will arise from the ashes. Kind
Okay.
Of thing.
So what I'm hearing is that prior to making this move, you're putting an ear to the an ear to the mindscape to try and find out what the situation is.
Yes, that's what I'm asking is how do I go about finding out what's going on the inside biz, as the case may be.
Okay. So you can just click on your character sheet. You can click on Search the Mindscape.
Search Mindscape. So
yeah, this is not an updated one. So
search for exploits.
No, it's under Information Moves rather than Mindscape Moves. Search Mindscape. All right.
What's that? Hang on, I got so many windows open here. Hang on. No, Baba. There. Oh, partial success. Boo.
On Search the Mindscape, that's not bad.
Okay.
If you see if you see the list of questions, you can ask one of them. I will answer it honestly.
So this is under handouts?
Yes. It'll be under handouts, information moves, search Mindscape.
Information moves. Sorry. Information moves. There it is. Yay. Okay. So I get to pick one.
Yes.
I think how do I want to go about asking my question on which way they're going?
Yeah.
I
think there's an art to getting those questions to ask the thing that you want.
Yeah. I think maybe the way to go about this is where can I find the heroic leader of Warweaver? Maybe is either that or how is Warweaver related to because I don't know they're becoming an autocracy. So basically, I kind of want to go.
Yeah, I think it's probably
where
fair.
can I find the heroic symbol of Warweaver within their organization, kind of thing. Is that kind of in line of the rules to ask?
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably okay to metagame the question a bit anyway.
Yeah.
Like
from
you as a player can ask the question you want, even if we haven't established what your character does or doesn't know about the situation. We're establishing what they know now, based off of like a out of context.
So to kind of get into the questions and stuff, to kind of maybe game the questions a little bit. Basically, the question becomes: is there somebody in Warweaver that we can rise to power?
Okay.
Right.
So
like who does Warweaver consider to be valuable?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Is it who
could we put
who could? Yeah. Okay. So I think that depending on that question, it'll have a very different answer. Like if you so are you doing the who does what entities consider that's what entities consider blank to be valuable. I don't know if that. I mean, if I don't know if that would. There may be a way of phrasing that blank in a way that works for you. Certainly, you can do. Where can I find a heroic leader within the Warweavers? I think that's totally kosher.
Yeah.
Okay. And the answer is Beauregard on Corvus has shown these ambitious tendencies.
Mhm.
You don't necessarily know that he has made strides towards creating autocracy, um, but you do know that if you're trying to create a change like that, that is probably your guy.
Sounds like a good plan. So, pardon me. My voice is starting to go. Pardon me. Do I get another action then?
Yes, yes, that is
Go.
that is not a prolonged action. You can
Ah.
keep doing
So,
stuff.
how would you describe a prolonged action? Is that with my playbook then,
Or I'm sorry, prolonged move.
or prolonged move? Yeah.
So uh,
Because I
of
want
the
to try to put as a metagame perspective, and because we're trying to test out what the roles do, I'd really like to see what Power Broker does, and see if I can
okay,
make it to work.
uh,
It's very
sure.
specific, so I need to definitely like kind of from in-game perspective to try to get Power Broke to work. I guess would be contacting the members of my committee to try to convince them that our best goal is to put Beauregard in 100% charge or towards being 100% in charge of the War Weavers to take control of the situation on the planet indirectly. Does that kind
Okay.
of make sense? Or is
Uh,
that just political influence?
okay. So uh, so with Power Broker, you could essentially give people or take away Woofy, making it.
What is a whiffy? Please
Oh,
explain a
okay.
whiffy
So
to the party.
that's essentially
Setback?
uh, that's essentially wealth. It
Oh.
is yeah, how
Oh.
much resources the society is willing to throw your way. Um,
Oh. So
so
you
you
got to
could go
give
with
that
Power
to
Broker to mess with someone or to bribe them, um, or if you just wanted to push Warweaver into autocracy, you could uh, just just plain assert political pressure to try and do that, or you could talk to the guy, talk to Bograd
okay.
first, just to
Okay.
like set things
I
up. It's up
really
to you.
want to try to do playbook move here.
Okay.
So I got to give a whiffy to a player character, correct?
Um. Okay. So.
From a character other than yourself. So I'm assuming that's from a player character because the
Yeah. Yeah.
NPCs don't really have stats.
Totally.
Okay, so we're definitely going to have to. I can't remember a character's name anymore. Hang on. I think what we're going to have to do is in the committee meeting is decide that taking direct action might be even a little bit too direct for us. So giving Spiral a nice little bribe to really start spreading the word that Beauregard is the man will help us towards our goal. Does that kind of make sense?
Okay. So. Why don't you just yeah? Why don't you just like talk to Spiral and see if you can
Yeah.
convince her that this is
Sure.
uh
Sounds
so
good.
this could be like
Sorry, I'm
I
kind of
mean
whipping
this could just happen
around.
in terms of role playing it out, but it could also this might be a role to convince if things don't go well, and then
Okay.
we can
Okay.
follow with my power broker.
Okay, sorry. I've been
Potentially.
looking way too much on the rules and forgot about the role playing part of the game. Oh my god. There's an R in RPG. So I will definitely call her up on the Mindscape for sure. Since she's basically in my employment anyways. So
Interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah.
it's on my sheet that you're in my employment. So
It didn't go well, but yeah, maybe she owes you.
yeah.
Chair Govinder, to what do I owe this pleasant surprise?
I see that we have a kind of a mutual situation going on down there, don't we?
Don't we always?
We do indeed.
To be
I
specific,
was wondering if you would do a little business with me.
Well, you have always been one of our best long-term customers, and we certainly are at your service.
It's come to our attention that the situation is getting a little bit untenable with our new little friends. And things are going to be becoming a little bit, perhaps just a teeny bit, a little bit rough. And we don't want it to devolve into, let's say, barbarism. Because that's not so good.
Pause.
Yes.
Sorry. How much do I know about what's been going on since my turn ended?
Good question.
This is a very important question because I don't necessarily know what he's talking about.
Yes.
I
Okay.
know.
You are free to search the mindscape as well.
Okay, I will actually do, if possible, I will do a search the mindscape move. I want to see if I can pick out exactly which issue he's talking about.
Oh, you're not going to let me just bullshit you? Oh, damn.
It's called fishing.
Nice. What do I get in a 13?
So you can ask a question and then a follow-up question.
Nice.
So what specific situation is Chair Kulvinder talking about?
I'm sorry, which?
So basically, I was referring
so
to
so the question has to be from the search the mindscape list.
Okay.
Information, search for mindscape.
What is related to who's owned what entity considered? Where can I find? Okay. So what's the relationship between Chair Kulvinder and the calamari?
Ooh.
Calamari are the ones I'm concerned about right now.
So let me see that. So there wasn't a specific.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't at you. That was my throat. I apologize.
Okay.
I just literally.
I will mute.
Okay. So there actually hasn't been a specific development between them in game yet, correct? Am I
Correct.
fucking up? Okay. However, you definitely would know essentially the bonds between them. So you know that they're at a bit of loggerheads over whether one should just act in an ad hoc, directly democratic basis, or follow the or God damn it!
It's pretty. It's pretty clear from what you see from the mindscape. If we want to go from if you're searching the connection between me and Squiddy, is that it is not secret that do not take kindly to their ad hoc nature.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely what comes across.
Yeah, totally. Colvinder believes in rules, Robert's rules of order, and Lovecraft. It's
and it's not a secret.
Yeah,
that is
No. That's if it was a secret, it's the worst kept secret.
It really is.
Like to the point where we have talk shows going on for the human equivalent.
But I don't know. Is there is there a specific thing that would that is likely to, in either of your minds, that is likely to set that off and make it make it more contentious, make it more current?
Not to give away my political plans. No.
But okay, so I mean that relationship, that tension isn't a secret. So Spiral, her success in searching the mindscape reveals a secret.
Yes.
So is there some aspect of this bone of contention that is not known that might be advantageous to someone who knew it, that sort of thing?
I think if there's a deep dark secret that needs to be revealed, is basically what we're trying to do right now. Mm-hmm. I think like catching my drift, which is kind of like we want to move the War Weavers into a position of greater power so they can control what happens not just with the dinosaurs, but what happens with the calamari. I think
I think the
secrets, that is the secret.
Okay.
This comes out.
Okay.
And we can deal with that.
Okay. I think that what you have in mind for the War Weavers is outside of that question, though.
Okay.
But I think you do know that Colvinder is has some interest on Catrian, and their hands are likely to be in the one of their many hands is likely to be in that pie, specific and most likely in a way that would mess with Lovecraft.
Yeah, and with me.
Probably.
Indirectly.
Directly.
I mean, you're getting more information on the Lovecraft portion of it, but you can infer that it would also mess with you, and you get a follow-up question.
Absolutely. So what entities? I'm trying to find where the primary suggestion is. There's a relationship between. There is an art to these questions for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tough. It's so tough. It's like a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Like a word puzzle.
Let's go with what entities consider. What entities consider the what are they called now?
Kara.
The compies. What entities consider the compies to be valuable?
Oh, okay. So, definitely, Lovecraft, I think, is interested in them. Like, wants to uplift them in his own image. um, the whatever Lord of the Outer Dark is represented by that ship. That's not a coincidence. That has at least a copy component.
Mm-hmm.
And then definitely Kolvinder wants that doesn't necessarily want to raise the uplift the companies himself, but he wants to control that situation.
Okay.
100%.
Controlling the situation sounds good. Okay. Okay, so I've got it. Awesome. Thank you. So I now know what I know.
Yes.
Well, Chair, we can definitely do some business. What do you have in mind?
Well, I hear that you have a leader of exceptional quality, and I would definitely vote for you myself. But the committee has agreed that Beauregard would be a great representative for what is required to maintain the peace of the situation, for sure. And that perhaps granting him let's say granting him a slightly more influence amongst the troops would be beneficial to everybody. Certainly, we could talk about a secondary position for you as well.
Well, that sounds like you might want to set some things permanently where we would prefer to not do that. Certainly, Beauregard has had positions of power before, and he should certainly have positions of power again. He's very good at it, and he happens to like them. Perhaps he likes them a little too much, which is part of the problem. But, So, what... how long a contract are you thinking of having Beauregard in charge?
Well, I think a flexible one might be a better idea rather than like a set, because who knows when the situation is going to resolve. Let's say let's say we have two possible routes for this to go.
Mm-hmm.
One, until we can confirm that the copy will not become an issue, or we can go with two until until let's say you see fit as second in command.
Well, that certainly seems agreeable. I think we should definitely get together some paperwork on this.
I agree, totally.
Excellent. All right. You draft up a. How about you have your people draft up a preliminary agreement? I know that you certainly have people in the committee that love to do that.
I will definitely get Zoe to do that for sure.
Excellent. Excellent. I look forward to reading Zoe's agreement.
To sweeten the pie, we're definitely willing to give you some funds. And much to my dismay, we could, because she's been asking lately, we could always send Zoe as a personal representative for you. As long as there's a clear contract of no contact.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. We must always have clear and set boundaries in these situations.
I agree.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
So, I mean, this is like a one-shot thing, but definitely mark an XP, Kolvinder, for involving.
I got an XP!
Woohoo!
So happy! It's so hard for Jason to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, it should not be, but yeah.
It's all good.
Oh,
Okay,
that
and
was my
did you want to power broker up some woofy
yes.
for
I
Spiral?
would definitely like to try to do it because that's kind of what we're trying to do tonight is make sure the rules work as well as the narrative. So let me read through this here. Wow, it's long. Okay, so Mindscape, you can attempt to influence others, giving you or remove permanent. So I would like to give a point of whiffy to someone else. So I need to roll suave, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so my suave is 2. So roll
There's a good chance you can just click on the button for that one.
Oh, okay. Which button would that be? Do I have a power broker move?
Yes, it's all set up. So if you scroll down on the sheet, it'll be the first playbook move. You can just
Oh,
click
it
on
has
the
a little button.
yeah
Oh,
yeah. You can
here's
just
a
hit that and
button.
it will work.
You can get to
All
press
right.
the button.
It is a 2d6 though.
Succeeds
Yes, it is.
partially.
Okay.
Which is why the button works, is because
Yeah.
I have not converted Power Broker over to the 2d10 thing.
Okay. Sounds good.
And I aid him in that role.
Yes. Aid or interfere?
Or more, hang on a second. Let me take a look at that. Is that in the handouts? The Power Broker move?
It is
No.
not.
It is I think it's a personal move. Hey, I can I'll copy the text so you can see it.
Thank you. I want to know what happens when you succeed partially. Favors do temporary will yourself. Make enemies on the person you are targeting. Your community loses 1 morale. Make enemies on the person you're... Okay, yeah. You know what? I will go ahead and aid with that if I'm possible.
Sure. And you can just click on the button by aid or interfere on the sheet. That also hasn't been updated. So.
And what section is that under?
It's at the bottom of support moves.
Ah.
Succeeds partially.
Okay. And I believe that's good enough to have everything go through without negative consequences.
I believe so.
Because it's popping the original Power Broker move into a full success, but let me verify that.
That's a good idea.
Just because I wrote the rule doesn't mean I remember exactly how it works.
Oh my god, that has never happened to any of us at any point on this stream.
Ever.
We haven't changed things in
footage showing the other one.
You gotta memorize everything.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so if the helping PC gets 7 to 9, but the acting PC's modified roll is 10 plus, the helping PC incurs no penalty.
Yay.
So yeah. So you get a permanent whoopee, and
Yay!
nothing bad happens to anybody yet.
We're making woofy.
We're making movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
I couldn't resist.
So
That's not true. I could have resisted.
Yeah. So we are running low on time.
Yeah.
I think what I think what I'd like to do to hit a couple more of these before we run out of time is let's jump time forward and make assumptions.
Sure.
I would really first off I would really like to see the combat stuff. So
Yes.
let's assume that
Something went wrong.
that Spiral Gray, you have decided to confront the forces of the Outer Dark on Tethrine or Tethrine. First, with your with your compatriots beside you. So if you could roll 2d10 plus control,
Can?
and this is on direct. The move is direct conflict, or new direct conflict. It's that one.
I get a 15.
All right.
Always just one below.
I know. But a 15 is more interesting than a 16. So you have a choice.
It is. So
although,
I'm going to choose.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am definitely going to choose one from column A, one from column B, and two from column C.
Okay, cool.
Okay!
Did you just break the game?
No, I hope
hope
not.
so.
I got us. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
Color.
So, do you want to choose the nasty thing first?
Yes.
Or
let's
the
start A
full-on
and then B
nasty
and then-
thing first?
Yeah, and then it looks like there's only two on C.
Yes, and in choosing two of them, you can probably totally. So the way the way the column C works is that if you just hit it once, you're essentially just starting a clock to remove opposition. If you hit it twice, it's possible that you wipe out the opposition entirely. Depending on whether it's just if it's a 2 clock, then you can just do that. If it's a 4 clock, then you can get like halfway there or whatnot.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. I think let's do that. Let's do the start and advance a clock from C. So you start it and then advance it.
Okay.
From column A, I'm gonna say your organization gains a new active need.
Okay.
Now, does that activate the need I already have, or does that give me a new need?
That gives you an entirely new need.
Excellent. Do you get to choose that? Do I get to choose that?
Good question.
You get to choose that.
Excellent.
And how do we choose it?
Okay, so it's from there under the handouts. There's surplus and need.
That makes sense.
Choose a need. It happens immediately.
Okay.
Anxiety, desertion, desperation, motivation, blame, obligation, reprisals, nationalism, savagery, infiltration.
I am definitely going to say obligation.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm going to play that like. I'm going to put that on here. Obligation. I'm going to say that. That is somehow related to. That's somehow related to Beauregard. Or maybe not, because Beauregard we feel was under the influence of the evil ones, right?
Probably.
Okay.
That'd probably be the way you would spin it, or at least the way I would tell you to spin it.
Yeah.
Case maybe. That's eventually how that was going to end, anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the obligation is somehow related to Colvinder.
Nice.
You can note that on there. And for column B, I'm gonna say the forces inflict barbarities, and we lose one morale.
Okay.
We go too far.
Yeah, you feel bad about killing these horrible Lovecraftian creatures. It may be. Yeah, I think what more likely is that there's like some compies in the line of fire, and bad things happen.
And bad things happen. Bad things happen to good people.
Bad things happen to good dinosaurs. No.
Okay.
What? Oh man.
I'm making a note. Even though you're choosing obligation, since we're winding down the session under normal circumstances, unless you're able to complete a long-term project before the end of session, uh, you'd lose 2 more morale and it would be bad. But
Gotcha.
we're not going to worry about that. I'm just
Okay.
going to make a note that need is too hosing. It hoses too hard.
Sorry,
Uh,
that was immature of me.
okay, so this probably wouldn't happen in the normal course of play. In the normal course of play, you'd probably either knock these dudes off the planet, or just be halfway there and it'd be resolved in the normal way. But again, because we're running out of time and I want to see it played out, I think what happens is that you push them into full retreat, and before leading your forces as they're as the enemy is getting on their organic ship, presumably to just cause trouble elsewhere. You rush on, and the doors close behind you, and it becomes a personal fight with the forces of chaos and madness and all things beyond. So, if you could roll a where's it hiding? Or I'll make it pop up. There it is. New use force.
Yay!
Use force, badass. When you personally use violence to achieve an objective and the outcome is in doubt, roll plus badass.
Hell to the yeah.
To make this movement easier to harm or reduce harm with face state of weapons. Okay, awesome. So this is 2d10 plus badass. Badass for my character is 1.
Okay. And I think that these things are not actually using state-of-the-art weapons. They're using like claws and mandibles and shit.
Okay.
So at default, you're gonna have to make the harm move. But depending on how much hold you get, you can get rid of that.
Sounds good. Is use force set up, or should I just do
It
manually?
2d10 plus 1.
10 plus
Or
1.
yeah. 10.
10.
Oh, that's bad. Okay.
That's bad for you.
Yeah. So you get to choose one option off of this table. You could not have to make the harm move. You could succeed in your objective, and you can choose whether the objective is to get back off after the doors close, or whether it's to like wipe out the leader of the hive mind, but there'll be a complication. Or yeah, I hold on. In laying out the move, yeah, I should have before you rolled. I should have we should have like set up the fiction actually a little bit more, and I should have asked you what so the doors have closed behind you, and the enemy is in front of you. What is your objective?
Her objective would be to permanently cripple the ship.
Okay.
So that we can continue the fight.
Okay, cool. So now you have those 4 options to choose from.
I definitely like you achieve your objective, but there is a complication.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to take the harm move.
And that's it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do the harm move, and then I'll decide on the complication, which is
Excellent.
which is just more interesting.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can just on your character sheet you can just click on the harm move because that hasn't been updated.
That is a 9, which
9,
is
which is
partially.
not bad.
Reaction moves. Harm. So I got succeeds partially. You let the MC choose 2 from the list above or choose 1 from the list below. You're out of action, unconscious. I think I will let the MC choose 2 from the list.
Okay. So yeah, I think that the critters managed to like slash in where the power armor isn't, and causing a bleeding flesh wound near your neck, but you're just millimeters shy of your jugular vein, and and there's when this is once you do get free and seek and like and have the injury treated, the important thing that you missed noticing is that there's like spores in the injury that just are so microscopic and innocent at first that that they go unnoticed.
Excellent.
So, yeah. Let me see. It's almost 8, which is 9 for where you guys are.
Yeah. Definitely the time to stop for today.
Yeah,
Chris is
yeah,
about to pass out on us.
I would love to slip in one more move, but it's fine.
Next time.
I think
we will come back to this.
Yeah.
We can come back to this in
Yeah. So I'm thinking that the way it's structured, it may be that the MC gets too many moves, but it doesn't. So far, it doesn't feel clunky to me. How do you guys feel?
No, it's not, because it's still kind of part of like it kind of goes into the fiction, because it doesn't seem too unbalanced. To be honest with you.
Okay.
No, I like the actual system itself.
It's going to take a longer playthrough for me to see whether it's balanced or not.
Yeah.
Because we're dealing with
we definitely spent a lot of time fucking around as usual, but you know.
Well, yeah. Also, this thing like it leans towards a lot of like universe creation stuff, which is slow. Even though there was pre-gens, we still spent an hour doing character generation stuff, which I thought was sort of necessary. Like the bonds between you, like solidified what everybody was doing, and I think made things a lot more interesting.
Yes,
100%. Not going to disagree.
Yeah. It becomes. I want to see how it plays out long term, because it's this interesting situation where we're trying to manipulate each other into doing things, character to character, but it's like, yeah, guys, there's fucking Cthulhu on the planet.
Yeah.
Why do I care about any of your other shit? Oh, but we have to rob it. There's Cthulhu on the planet.
Yeah.
But the White Walkers are coming. It doesn't matter. It's basically Game of Thrones. It's fine.
Well, yeah, that is
again,
awesome.
I like to imagine during this entire experience, Artie and Mike are cleaning out a toilet on the planet.
Okay.
Kind of going, through this
You don't
difficult
know what's going on.
But awesome, so cool, because that is exactly a design goal, is to have like this overarching thing happening, but there's this other stuff that's like fresh and happening right now. So which are you going to deal with? Because if you deal with one, more stuff is going to happen before you can get to the other. What do you do?
You only got so many choices to make, which I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Plus,
like that
the
a lot.
healthy dose of yes, Prime Minister does help terribly when you're in the middle of a life or death situation.
One thing we'll have to definitely try to utilize more often, though, is the interfere or assist actions.
Yeah.
So players can kind of interact more with other players during the moves.
Yeah.
Because the moves do take a while, so the other players just kind of sit around for a little while. So I'm just basically encouraging players to do that a little bit more often. Because if we went running low on time, I would definitely been like maybe helping Joe out on his move on the ship.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just want to verify something before I go into a little dishonesty. The objective of the interfering with each other, are we treating it like a board game, or are we treating it like an advancement of the story? And this will be kind of important to decide what your objective is for the chicanery.
What do you mean?
So
you right now have it as an ablative system. Every time we mess up with each other, we end up losing points.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it feels like a board game. Does that make sense? Whereas if you almost gave points in return for letting them have control of the plot, you could almost make it so that can't speak for most groups, but I know our group would run it right into the ground just for the sheer loss of it.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
I totally do. Yeah. So it is it is intentionally sort of a little bit gamified, like that. I certainly did that on purpose. That rather than being that moment to moment role playing, it's like you set a scene, and that scene is sort of geared towards the long term move, so that you can gain advantage. But also you can't lose. You can have bad things happen. You can be forced into schism where it changes your organization. You can lose points and stuff. But you're still gonna have an organization, and can still do stuff, and death is obsolete.
True enough. But what I would recommend is the first clock that should be on the board is the one that we're playing in. Like, there should have been a Lovecraftian plot, clock before we touched any other ones up there. Because that's hey, clock is ticking. Yeah, whatever. We're ignoring it.
We're totally ignoring it.
Exactly. And then you suddenly say, click, here you go. Oh, it's advanced free. Yeah, whatever. Oh, God, it's 2 minutes till midnight. We better pull something out of our ass. Can we do it? Probably not.
Yeah.
I think that's something that would be limited to like specific MC moves at specific times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say every cycle I'd advance the clock by at least one, kind of like that board game we played in the Lovecraftian thing where there was a co-op after that thing here, where there is a time limit and it's debated by whatever plot you're working on, and that would actually help keep, we'd still be screwing with the plot line because I know us, but I kind of almost balancing act between the two. Right now, there's no balancing act. It's the politics are dominating, and the Lovecraftian thing's almost a side effect.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So with the Beauregard corruption thing, it probably would have been better to represent that as a clock. But I was doing it more
Again, I'm just spitballing here, man. Like, Brad, you did a fantastic job. I like the feel of the game. and I think it's a lot of fun watching the political.
Anyways, I get points for screwing with you guys, more or less. Like, if we would have continued playing, Jason's like gaming for an XP for screwing with Chris's organization next time. You know, it's fine.
Yeah. Which makes things interesting. It makes for interesting role play opportunities.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's it's
Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking that's all. Just
No, it's all good. And
we definitely need to. It's a kind of game that needs to be played out. Like the tests for this need to actually run several sessions.
yeah,
Yeah. Like, I would argue that we almost have to run 2 more sessions before we have a real answer one way or the other.
Yeah.
Because right now
Mhm.
we're ending in the middle of the game before anything's actually happened beyond the preliminaries.
So
And
the question
we need to
becomes-
figure out what sort of time limit we want in this game in order to kind of set it up here. Like, for example, if this was running at a con, you'd want to set it up so it'd run in 4 hours.
yeah, that'd be hard.
Deciding it's running here, it would.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
not designed as a con game, Chris. I'll let you know.
No, I kind of
This-
figure. You get what
that
I'm
is not for
saying.
cons.
Yeah, but
I think
what's your time limits? Like, what's your beginning, middle, and end for this game? Like, are we going to keep playing? Like, if we let's say
Yeah.
we have all, you want to run a perfect game. What's your game sessions for the game? Are you running just? Are you running?
So I have done I have done a playtest campaign, and it went partially, and then sort of we lost a player and rebooted, and after the reboot, it went another 4 sessions, I think, and in that last session we tied things up, but it was a little bit hurried.
Okay.
So I definitely need to do more full campaigns of it just to find out how long a full campaign of it is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
where that is likely to go. Whether it's going to be like,
I think reading through a lot of the Apocalypse World stuff, and this has definitely got the sense, even though I did not MC it properly, it got a sense of Urban Shadows. That's something actually out of the old game mindset you have to get away from. It's not really meant to have a set playtime. The playtime is whatever you make of it.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, if you don't have a idea of how long you want it to run, you're going to just meander around in a circle for 3 to 4 games, which could be a lot of fun, or it could be kind of depending on how you're running it there. Like, without a set time, you don't know when the Lovecraftian horrors are going to come back and basically game over, man.
Yeah, I think definitely having a clock for the Lovecraftian horrors would have been a good idea for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's just mostly just trying to figure out the pacing of the game, because once you have an idea of how much time you have to work with, just roughly, then you can define it here. Because over the last 3 Echelon games, it always feels like even this time where we had pre-built characters, we spend half the session just building the darn things and fleshing them out.
Yeah.
No, we spent most of the time screwing around, but that's okay.
Yeah.
well, screwing around, learning the system,
Yeah.
building the world.
Mhm.
It is a disadvantage to not disadvantage, but it is a reality of the game we're setting up, of the world we're setting up, that there is every session, not every session, but every individual arc we do is going to have some world building, because you literally have to build worlds unless you want to reuse ones you've already done.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
also interesting because I think this is the first time I've played a game where I'm playing characters that have a huge investment in the system.
The world.
Mm-hmm.
And not just
That's
the world,
cool.
but the system in the world. And that's interesting because most of the time, Chris, as far as I know, invented the term murder hobos. And that's
I think I heard
basically
somewhere to get the idea.
and that's basically what any characters in any tabletop role-playing game are. They're the people who wander outside of society and do all the cool shit. Well, this is one where, I'm like, why the hell are you taking over my war weavers? I actually have a real investment in these people.
Yeah, that's one thing I will give full kudos to your game. we're creating it before we destroy it, and that creates an emotional attachment. That's very fundamental for something like this. Otherwise, like, I will give you full kudos. Like, I like the idea of going around in a circle, and to some degree, like as far as the political maneuvering. I'm just trying to see the if-then statement associated with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that I definitely like. It's not just this session; it's throughout the whole thing. You know, kind of is has like this. It's. I'm happy with the with the world building aspects, except that it's slow. Like I mean maybe there's a way to deal with that, or maybe I should just lean into it and be like, okay, it's sort of like, uh, uh, what's it, Burning Wheel, where you can maybe kind of do a one shot of it, but really expect to spend, expect it to be at least 12 sessions to get your value out of it.
Okay. Then I would like to request having 2 more sessions of this, and I want to play it through. Okay.
Okay.
Whether or not, because
we'll roll back the the jump to the fight, because
exactly. Because I kind of want to see what the gauge would be under optimum conditions, to see where the endpoint ends up.
Okay.
Narratively, because that'll give you an idea what your baseline is, and then you can find out whether you need to speed it up or slow it down.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to do that. Do we want to?
Well, you can totally do it next week. That's fine. It's not like I'm prepped at all.
Oh,
I'd really like to like bring D-Rev to at least a sort of resolution, because we're kind of not a cliffhanger, but we're in a.
Well, D-Rev again. Here's the thing about the timing, because D-Rev is, and see, this is the thing. I don't know if I'm so hooked on having an end for this, because this isn't a campaign. This is the best description of playing the Eschaton for me, if you want to compare it to D&D, is playing Living Greyhawk. There is no end or beginning to Living Greyhawk.
Yeah.
In the old school system. Whereas D-Rev, I got a 3-part narrative. We can go definitely to part 2 and take a break from part 2 while I firm up part 3 and part 4. Right? Yep.
Well, I'm
because D-Rev is stress testing the rules, but I also kind of have a campaign, so it's kind of a combo as well, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of thinking from a meta level here. By the time June hits, you're not going to be GMing D-Rev because you're going to be stupidly busy.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get through as much as we can.
This coming week is pretty busy for me as well. So one half does another for me, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, and same here.
We can do D-Rev next week, because here's the thing though. If we get Leo back next week, how hard is it to integrate him back into the Eschaton?
Yeah.
It will
now we're adding
take. It'll take like it'll take some time to get him set up. But I don't think it'll be a problem once we do. Like, we'll do the bonds, and he'll be, I think he'll be in the story just from that process.
Okay, that I actually wouldn't mind testing ultimately. Like,
see if you can add a character in between.
Yeah, because that's the biggest problem we have with Fate is if you're not there for Rule 0, you feel like an outlier. And I want to see if your game has a similar effect. Or if it doesn't, even better. Like, that's just the way we're testing.
Yeah.
Again, stress test, pure and simple.
We can put off D-Rev for a week if Brad's willing to run again. But that's fine.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. But I'm also keen to play D-Rev. So
choose.
Win-win.
Which way do we want to go? Choose.
How about we let our audience decide? Oh wait.
Somebody choose. Who would like to choose?
Okay.
You choose. You choose, Joe. You choose. You're in charge.
Let's do D-Rev next week.
Okay.
Because then we can round that off in a way that feels good.
Yeah, kind of give it like a.
Well, again, it won't be, but you will definitely explore a new area, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can do a session where we bring Leo in, and do this.
Mm-hmm.
I do eventually have a bunch of games that I'm wanting to run this year.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Summer, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
I'll
good
do
point.
something similar. I'll put off any GMing until the summer, and then if we need any filling of holes, I can figure something out.
We're fighting for space. It's like, no, I want to run a game now. Which, hey, good problem to have.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
It's the happy side effect of everybody here being a GM as well as a player.
Uh-huh. That's pretty
Therefore,
cool.
we can easily swap out whoever's playing, which is, well, we've been in gaming groups where there's only one GM, and you can tell.
Anyways, let's not go into long stories. There's already like almost a quarter.
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
dropping like
Okay.
a
So, if you guys are okay with it, we can sort of
Sign up.
abbreviate or skip the normal sign off stuff.
Come see us next week so you can see our stuff. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me,
Really awesome. Hopefully I'll have my camera working. If you enjoyed this, please do like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. I'd appreciate it. And thank you all for bearing with me. I had a good time, and I love like testing and developing this and
Brad, I'm starting to fall in love with your concept and your idea. Therefore, you're doing good.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely a good sign.
Peace out,
Okay.
everybody.
Yep. Bye. I'm waving. You can't see.